What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here, and we are back, and we're going to try out, well, we are going to complete, I'm telling you, we're going to complete Master Rank 22 test, which was not really easy. It is now, but it wasn't when I first kind of got into it. And I'm going to show you guys my build and what made it easy. I do want to thank a no-lifer who was in the stream when I was, doing my builds and helping me out with getting my build up to snuff with this battle. But we're gonna jump in real quick into the arsenal because this is a very build-heavy type of mission. I don't know why I wasn't showing up at first. So I went with Rhino Prime. I want to try this test with, I've tried it with Ash Prime, and I get pretty close to completing it. It's just, there's one of the modifiers that makes it a little bit difficult. But I have a single forma in this Rhino, which is more than enough to keep him alive at the moment. I really focused on having a lot of power strength so that his iron skin is really good. And I also just doubled up on his vitality and his armor just for the sake of that. I brought in equilibrium because I had it, because this will help me be able to get orbs. If get energy, basically. My goal is to keep energy as much as possible, so I have equilibrium on here. But I need lots of power strength, lots of armor. I have efficiency on here just because I know that the orbs have to spawn, the energy orbs have to spawn, so I want to use as little energy as possible, and I had the room for it, so I did it. And then, like I said, more power strength. I do have an empty slot, so you could, if you have a more forma in your build, utilize that or rank up any of these mods a little bit more if you see that necessary, but I don't see it necessary. I wanted to keep this kind of as minimal as possible so that any player can at least, obviously you have to be Master Rank 21 to go for Master Rank 22, so you're probably experienced in the game enough to be okay with this. But I wanted to keep it as low as possible so that most players would be able to accomplish this as long as they have a build similar to this. So I also went with the Tigress Prime, which is kind of a given because of its damage output. You could try and find maybe a, let's see, a Soma with really good Hunter's Munitions. That could potentially work. You could also maybe, let's see, trying to think of another weapon. You could probably get away with the Sancti Tigress or the regular Tigress. I really recommend the Tigress Prime because it is going to help you that much further. I made sure that my status was up to 100%. I went with viral and radiation just because viral damage. The way viral does armor and stuff, especially against these guys, is going to be important. So lots of damage. Like I said, 100% status, using whatever combination you want, but I recommend viral radiation if you can. You do need, as far as I know, you do need 4 different dual stat mods in order to get up to 100% status. And then I have multi-shot just because, it's good. You could, like I said, go even further, drop more formas on this in order to get your point blank even higher. But then I have Axolotls on here just as backup. As much multi-shot as I can, as much status as I could. I have corrosive on there. It's up to you what you want to run. And then I threw on the Zenistar just as a backup, but I really didn't use my secondary or my melee weapon whatsoever. But in case you're curious, I ranked up Blast, kept the corrosive, or I kicked the Blast up, put corrosive on there. I've got Pressure Point. I've got, the 2 dual stat mods here. Got the 2 dual stat mods down here. I've got Life Strike just because it can help. Drifting Contact because of status chance and combo. And Reach because Zenistar, Reach, you know what I mean. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to get into the mission. We'll talk about it and we'll go through the entire thing. Alright, so here we go, jumping in.
You have proven your skills with weapons, Tony. But what of your endurance?
What of my endurance?
Can you survive this onslaught?
Yes, I can. I've done it before. Alright, so first time we have wave 1, we are going to get a modifier of a speed boost. So this is actually going to help us, which is pretty fantastic. I do not have enough power or efficiency to give me my iron skin right off the bat. So my goal is to get to one of these energy orbs very, very quickly. So there's one there, there's one across the way down on the bottom, I believe. There's one here, and then there's one back there on that platform earlier. These energy orbs are very important because energy is not going to be your friend in this type of mission. So, there we go. The Tigress, as you'll see, makes short work of a lot of these guys. Here we go. Oops. He's dead. That executed Goresh, he likes to teleport in on you, so sometimes standing still can get you killed pretty easily. With Rhino and his iron skin the way it is, I wouldn't worry about him too much, but just be aware that he will melee, teleport to you and then melee you. So just kind of be careful of that. The Tigress, because of its damage output and its huge status, manages to drop these enemies very, very quickly. The Harkonar Executioner does tend to clone herself, so one of which will not count towards your total kills. So just be aware of that. The little dudes, the little minions that the enemies put out, also will not count towards your total goal. So you're gonna want to fight and kill all these regular enemies. Look out for Goresh or Gorth, because Gorth has a very high amount of health, and it's probably one that if you're not using like a really high damage output weapon, or you're relying on like the Soma, you might want to stay away from him. This second mission you're seeing here is actually going to be a life drain. This is kind of the problem for a lot of frames that have low health pools. If you're really relying on someone who has high damage output but is kind of squishy, you're gonna really have trouble here, most likely. I like Rhino because his iron skin will actually stop that health drain from happening, and it'll slowly drain your iron skin, which is part of the reason why I put my my power strength up as high as I did. Now, if you're quick enough, you probably will be able to finish this without having to proc or get your iron skin ability again. However, I would still continue to run around and collect these energy orbs if possible. So, okay, this Tigress at the same time also has incredible range, so that's why I suggest it. Oh, do not fall off the platform. It will not respawn you, it will just kill you. You do have 3 revives, however those 3 revives last the entire 3 waves. So if you die twice on the first wave, you have to do the next 2 waves with only 1 more revive left. So just keep that in mind. As you can see here, making pretty short work of these guys because of the amount of health I have and the amount of damage I can deal in a single shot. Rhino makes this fairly easy. Rhino makes this pretty much a walk in the park. I'm considering trying out Frost because I'm sure with a really solid snow globe, he can make this very easy too. But like I said, players or characters that are more squishy, even though they might have high damage output, might suffer because the amount of damage these guys can output. So these guys are level 40. That's not too crazy. However, when we get into this 3rd wave, it's actually going to be enemy scaling. So every time you kill an enemy, the other enemies will get basically a buff. They will increase in level and be able to output more damage. One reason why I still recommend Rhino The other modifiers don't stack with these levels, so you no longer have the health drain or the speed boost. So that's good. You don't really have to worry about your health draining as long as you don't get shot. So just keep that in mind. Continue to run around to all of your energy orbs if possible, and you should be good to go. The one thing I highly suggest being careful of in this last wave is there is a new executioner. They add executioners each wave, but there is a new executioner that drops these mines. These traps will absorb, or they will drain all of your energy. That is something you absolutely don't want to happen, for pretty obvious reasons. I'm about to run out of my iron skin, but I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna go see if those mines will actually remove my iron skin. Is it gonna remove my iron skin? It does not. So even though you will lose all your energy, you'll be okay if you run over one of those mines. Your iron skin will not go down. However, just keep in mind that, like I said, these enemies are scaling up, so they're going to be dealing more and more damage. So running into those mines later on in Wave 3 could very easily get you killed. So just be very careful of that. These little guys, I wouldn't worry about too much. He just fell to his death. Don't worry about too much. I would just suggest staying away from them. However, if you do need to kill them, you can. The reason why I say that is the Tigress only has 2 shots, and that reload could potentially get you in a bad spot if you you get caught off guard. So I kill him just because, I don't know. It's just, I don't worry about it too much. I've run this a few times just to make sure I've got it down pretty well. So yeah, if for whatever reason you're not going to use Rhino and you are going to have issues with health, especially in the second wave, there is a health orb right here. So the spawn point is down here. So you would basically go up there and find your health orb. There is another health orb if you jump up here. There's another health orb back here. However, just be careful, because like I said, you fall off the platform, you fall to your death. You have ammo here if you need it for any reason. You probably won't, but in case you do, there's ammo there. And then, let me get this back up. And I believe there is also some down here somewhere. Maybe it's back in here somewhere. But let's get this finished off. Make this a W for us. There we go. Oh man. The Gore, or not Gore. The guy that teleports to you, I keep forgetting his name. He does dodge quite a little bit, so just kind of keep that in mind, that he'll roll left and right. There is also a Hellion in here, and he is probably your biggest threat. He can deal quite a bit of damage and knockdowns for most players. Rhino, because of his iron skin, you won't have to worry about knockdowns as much, but just keep that in mind. I am down to my last kill, so let's see if we can pull this off. Oh, okay. I must have got a slash proc or something on somebody. So there we go.
This test
that is Mastery Rank 22's test, and it's not so bad. I recommend, if you have this setup, or you can make this setup, do so. Like I said, I'm gonna try a couple others, just so that if you guys do not have this setup, or you want to try it differently, I'm gonna try at least Frost and Ash. If you have any recommendations on maybe a better way to do this, let me know. Or just another way to do this, let me know. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. And hopefully see you guys in another video. Blow!